Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to Project Learn, a Reskill and Spark AR initiative aiming at upskilling tech enthusiasts on emerging AR technology with the help of workshops and hackathons, and building a highly engaged Spark AR community through these workshops. You would be taught how to build AR effects on Spark AR Studio with features that enhance the experience of Facebook and Instagram users. I'm Anamika, and before we start the workshop, I would like to run through a small presentation to share the purpose, flow, application, benefits, and benefits of being a part of this program. As I mentioned, Project Learn aims at helping you kickstart your career in the domain of augmented reality by training you in the technology. Slide. The program is divided into three broad stages. In the first phase, we will walk you through Spark AR Studio and teach you how to create your first AR effect from scratch, which involves importing assets, canvas, face tracking, patch editor, and generating a test link. In the second phase, we will move a step further and teach you about advanced filters and share with you Spark AR policies before you finally submit your effect. The submission of your effect will get you a meta certification and access to resources that will help you prepare for the hackathon. In the final phase, we will host hackathons at your college level and pan India level. You would be rewarded and recognized for your efforts and contribution. Next. Okay, before we move further, let me quickly introduce what is Spark AR Studio. So, Spark AR Studio is a tool used by the global community of creators and brands to create and share AR experiences using Facebook family of apps. And augmented reality, as I'm pretty sure you are aware of, is an interactive experience which digitally enhances what can be seen, heard, and touched in the real world. At the moment, we have over 6 million people using AR on Meta apps. Slide. There are four key capabilities where AR is being used currently. To give you a brief insight on how AR is being used worldwide, we have come across these face filters. Uh, wherein you can add a mask on your face and you can do, add different celebrity masks and stuff. So this is done through a face tracking capability. IKEA, the popular Swedish chain of home furnishing store, uses AR to help their customers choose the right furniture for their home through the word tracking capability. Similarly, the QR codes, which are now a norm, we have also been able to scan the pamphlets and business card using the target tracking. Body and hand tracking, the latest capability introduced, offers utility for fashion and e-commerce brands, allowing users to try on the outfit before they digitally click on a purchase. Next slide. So these are the few effects that you must have come across, while using your Instagram, and these here when we talk about these effects, these are the ones wherein you can change the color of your hair color changes when somebody screams on the phone, or you get a call from the celebrity, or there are next slide. So anyone who's interested in gamification, they understand that AR is also playing a very impressive role in escalating your gamifying experience by mapping facial expressions, gestures, and head movement. Next slide. Again, AR has played a very crucial role in bringing the world to your drawing room. So we all went on Zoom all overnight. We all went on all the digital platforms to connect with each other's overnight. And over the period of time, started as a very basic, interaction became a very rich, immersive experience when we started, creating effects wherein we could be physically, like we would be visibly a part of the physical meeting. And so here we celebrated festivals with our families. We celebrated birthdays with the families and all. So all these things happen through AR. So next slide. So having said this, now what happens to the effect I have created? I have created an effect. Now what do I do with this? So the effect can be published on your Instagram user page, in the story section, in the reel section, and guess what? The interesting thing is that your effect is not only applicable or used by or visible to your friends. It can be used by the global audience. So the audience worldwide can use your effect and experience what you have created. Next slide. Now the thing is, now, okay, I learned the technology, but how will this technology help me? What does this technology help me with? So the pertinent question here is, professionally, does it help me, or will it hamper my my professional pursuits also? So there are many ways in which you can use AR effect to your advantage. Number one is, you can monetize on the platform by building AR effects for brands and creators. You can become a AR UX researcher, developer, and educator. You can actually leverage your career by identifying and solving problems. You can take augmented reality further by learning VR and XR. So with so many advantages, both immediate and long term, I'm pretty sure you're going to make the most of these workshops. We had shared the download link with for Spark Air Studio with you all. I hope you have downloaded it. So before I begin now, I would like to introduce to you Mrunank. Mrunank, who is the mentor for today. He is an AR creator for the last 2 years, and he has created some very amazing AR effects during his journey. He was also the campus ambassador at Reskill Spark AR Campus Ambassador Program in 2021, and today he would be hand-holding you into creating your own AR effects. And with this, I am inviting Mrunank on stage. Hi, Mrunank. You're
Yeah. Thanks for the wonderful introduction, and I'm super excited to deliver Spark Air session to all these amazing people. And I hope they enjoy the session and get started with the their AR journey.
right. Thanks. Right.
So hello everyone. I hope you all are super excited to get started with the session, and we will walk through the steps. Like firstly, I will tell you a little bit about what augmented reality is, what is Spark AR Studio, how we are going to use it to develop our AR experiences, right? So that at the end of the two sessions, you will be able to develop your AR effects and publish them on the social platforms. So I will just quickly share my screen. So I hope you all might have downloaded Spark Air Studio. So we will be working in Spark Air Studio for creating the amazing AR effects, right? I hope my screen is visible right now. So this is the Spark Air Studio where we are going to actually develop our AR effects, right? So I will just walk through what actually augmented reality is. So augmented reality is basically one of such feature or one of the technology which helps you to create some experiences which are used right now in the world, right? Meta company completely renamed its company name to Meta because of the metaverse. So metaverse is one of the most hot topic in the technical world right now, right? So what are AR experiences? So for example, let's say today as we are going to create an AR experience. So in that AR experience, we will be having we will be developing a AR face tracking effect. So in that effect, there won't be actually something visible on above our head, but we will make it possible to view it when you are using your mobile cameras, right? So in short, there will be nothing physically visible there, but when you are using your mobile cameras, you will be able to see something up there, right? So this is what augmented reality helps do. As Anamika ma'am shared the slides, there was one slide where there were four types of effect. One was face tracking, then there is target tracker, real world objects are there, right? So most of the industries are as well using those to provide customers or brands some great experiences, right? So this is the Spark Air Studio. So for developing an AR effect, we need three things handy. One is Spark Air Studio, where we are actually going to develop our AR effects, right? The second one is Spark Air Hub, where we will be publishing our effect, which we will be learning tomorrow. Then the third one is Spark Air Player, which is not compulsory because you can send a test link from your Spark Air Studio itself. So this is Spark AR Studio, where we are going to work to develop AR experiences. So on the left side, you can see the scene panel. In scene panel, we are going to add objects which we are going to need for developing an AR experience. Below that, there are assets panel. So assets panel will include the textures, materials, and all those things. So just don't get overwhelmed by all these terminologies like materials, textures. I will walk you through each and every of them as we move forward. So this is the viewport where you can see how your effect is acting on, right? This is the simulator which you can change the size of just to see how it will be looking on the mobile devices. On the right side, you can see the properties panel where you will be playing around with the values, changing the properties of it like scaling, rotating the objects and all those things. So I hope we are good to go now to the hands-on part and start developing our AI effect. Cool. So let's start with it. So as I mentioned, we are going to develop an face tracking effect. So the word itself has the object in it, face tracker. So we are going to add a face tracker. So now I will just zoom in a little bit. Now you can see this person is moving his head, but you don't see anything right now, right? So I will just click on the add in the scene panel, and either you can search here in the search box face tracker and just click on insert, right? So once I click on insert, I will be able to see some change in it. The initial thing did not have any axis in front of this face, but now as he moves his face, the axis are also moving according to the face, right? So this is because that person is that person's face is getting tracked by the face tracker, right? So this is the main thing that we will be using and working upon. So now as the face tracker is moving, what our aim is, we want to add some plane on the face tracker and we want to place it such that it's above our head and it gets rotated when we move our face, right? So now for that we need a 3D object that is plane. So we will just click on add object, add a plane, right? Cool. So now you can see plane is there in the simulator as well, in the viewport as well, right? So the plane is there, but the scene is that what problem we are facing, the person is moving his head, but the plane is static. It's not moving along with the face, right? And as I mentioned, what we want to do is we want this plane to get tracked by our face. So when I move my face towards left, the plane should also move towards left. When I am moving my face up, the plane also should move upside, right? So this is what we are expecting, but it's not happening at the moment, right? So that's because we have the plane added. If you can see, I will just change the position. I have the plane here, but it's not getting tracked by my face. Even if I just move my head, it's not getting tracked. And if you see the face tracker is still there. There are three axes which are moving uh, with respect to my face position. So for tracking the plane, for making the plane getting tracked by the face, what we are going to do is we will just firstly I will rename this to one of the name. Okay. So it's always a better practice that you keep on renaming the objects that you are including into a air effect, right? Because when you have a lot of objects, a lot of material, a lot of assets in your air effect, it gets a bit tedious job to just guess it by the number. So it's always a good practice to keep on renaming the objects that you are adding. You just have to double click on it, or you can just right click and click on rename to rename it. So now we are going to work on the main purpose or the main thing. So what I am going to do is, I have this plane, so I will just click on it and drag it and drop it to the face tracker. Now I can see a blue thin border on the face tracker, and I will just release it here. Once I release it, you can see it's getting tracked by my face now. It's moving fine. So I will just change its X, Y, and Z position. Yeah. So this is how you all might be seeing right now, because it's getting tracked by my face right now. Cool. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments. I will be checking it frequently. So now the plane is getting tracked by the face tracker, but here one weird thing is happening, that my face is not visible, right? It's just tracking. It's the plane is hiding my face, and what's the use of such an effect which does not show my face? There are some effects which use that kind of capability or that kind, but it's the main purpose of the air experience that we had created. But for this, we want our plane to be on our head, and right now the plane is in front of my face, and that's not happening as per my wish. So now what I am going to do is, I want to put this plane above my head, right? So there are two ways to do it. So I will just go to the face tracker, right? Sorry, the plane itself. And now there are two ways to change the position of this thing, right? So one is, I will just pause the video. So now the video is paused. I can just drag this arrow in the y-axis direction to my desired position, right? So I can just drag it using the axis, and it will get to my desired location. The another way is, so I will just reset it back. Cool. The another way is, I will just keep it playing, and the another way is, in the properties panel, I have the position, right? X, Y, and Z axis values are there. The X is 0, Y is 0, and Z is 0 at the moment. So now what I want to do is, I want to change its y direction, right? I want to change the value in y direction. So I will just, it's just experimental thing. We will just put it 0.5, and let's see where it went. It went 2 above. So I will just take it a bit low. Okay, it got too low. You can just keep on playing with these values, so you get your desired position. 0.1 to 0.15. Yeah, I think 0.15 is perfect for me, at least at this point of time. Cool. So now if I pause, it's fine. I'm happy with the position right now. So yeah, you can also change the person in the simulator by just clicking on this video. There are a few people. You can check it on each and every person, right? Cool. You can use your camera as well by just clicking on USB video device. It's completely your wish, right? So also I am zooming this, or I can rotate this using control or command on MacBook or Macs. You can use control and just use the wheel of your mouse, or you can just zoom in with your fingers as well on the trackpad. So now the plane is working well. Now I want to add some attractive image to my plane, right? So now what we are going to do is, we need to add some texture, right? So I will just try to explain you what texture, what material is, and how it works. So just take an for an instance, consider this plane as a brick wall. Okay, so this is a brick wall, and now you want to apply some texture, good amazing image to it, right? So what will be the steps for it? We will add some material to the wall first, and for your house wall, what we do first, we apply some material to it, and on that we either paint it or apply some texture to it, right? So in the same way, this is the plane, which is our wall. Now we need to add a material, right? So again, in the right panel, you will be able to see materials here. Just click on the plus icon in the materials. So once you click the plus icon in the material, you will be able to see the checkerboard kind of thing on the material plane has changed its color to white. But now what's happening is, it's when the person moves his head up, the white color is looking a bit grayish, and when it's he's facing his uh, face downwards, it's looking a bit more darker. So that's because of the light here. So there is a directional light which is affecting, this light is affecting its shade. So I don't want that, I want a solid color right now. So what I will do is, I will just go to material. I will firstly rename it uh, good vibes matte. Matte is for material. So now I have renamed it. Now I will change the shader type of this material to flat. So in the shader type, there are a lot of options: standard, flat, physically based, face paint, blended, and all those things. We are going to use flat. So as soon as I click on flat, you can see the change. Oh, just a minute. Yeah, it's not visible because the background is white right now. So, but you can see that when it is moving below, just like this. Okay, we will just go with this because my camera is on StreamYard. So, right, now you can see the difference. It's complete white because it's just ignoring the directional light, right? And that's the reason it's completely white. You can see it in the viewport. The plane is complete white. So now we have added the material to our brick wall, but now I need to paint it. I need to beautify that wall. So I need to beautify that wall. So for beautifying that wall, or for beautifying this material, I will just add a texture to it, right? So we have I have one image which I will be adding to this material. So you can use any image that you wish. You can take good morning image, or any image that you wish to do. So for adding a texture into my assets, I will just click on the plus icon here, click on import from computer, and I will just select the image from my computer device. So this is the image that I will be using. Click on add. So in the right side, you can see this good vibes image that I will be using. So I don't want to compress it, so I will just set the compression on all the three device types: iOS, Android, and older Android to none. Yeah, good. So now I have the texture, but how can I apply this texture to my material, and how can that material add it to the plane? So just go to material in the assets panel, click on texture. In the texture, if you have not imported the image or imported the texture into the assets panel, right now you can just click on choose file here and just select that file directly, right? It is same process. Just the thing is, from here you will be able to select anything, and from here you will be able to select a particular file from your computer. Now I have imported it in my textures in the assets panel. So I will just go to this drop down in front of texture and select good vibes, right? So once I select good vibes, you can now see that it's applied to the material, and that material is added to our plane, right? So now you can see, I will just restart it. Yeah, now it's working fine. But now what's happening is, the what we can say, the image is a little bit compressed because it's a square thing, right? Plane is a square. In a 3D, it's obviously a 3D object. Just let me see if you have any doubts. So now it's a little bit compressed, so I will scale it such that it looks actually perfect image. Now it looks like we have compromised on some things, and I don't want my effect to look like that. So I think y-axis is perfect for me. I just need to change the x-axis. So I will just scale it according. I will just play around with the values once again. Let's say 1.5. If you put 2, it's fine, but it looks too stretched. So I think 1.5 is perfect for me right now. Also, you can change the size in both directions as well, 3.5, and you can say this as 2.5. But it's going out of my screen device, right? I don't want that. So let's say if we can do 3.5 and 1.5. Cool, this also looks great. But again, when the person is moving his head towards left and right, when he is tilting his face, it's getting cut a bit. So I will just go with 1.5 and 1, and this is fine for me. So no one will tilt their face so much. So this is fine. So this is what our effect was that we had created today. So it was a basic effect of face tracker. Tomorrow we will be learning how you can change the background of your effect, how you can teleport yourself to some different place, and we will also learn how you can publish your AR effect. So each and every person on socials, on Instagram, Facebook, can use your AR effect and create some stories, reels, and all those things. So I hope this was clear to you all. If you have any doubts, feel free to put those in the comments. So this was the effect that we had created for today. You can use for the texture, you can use any image that you want. Great. I hope you all enjoyed today's session and looking forward to your AR creations. And I hope you all will create amazing AR effects and publish it to Facebook and Instagram, so each and every person can use your effects. Cool. So I think there are no doubts. Great. So still, if you have any issues with any of the any doubt you have with respect to today's session, feel free to ask. Feel free to shoot those out. How did you all feel this? How did you? How was your experience today for while creating your AR effects? Just shoot those out in the comments. Would like to listen to your feedback or anything extra you expect from me. So we can just move in with some more things. I will just share with you a few more things how you can uh, play with those plane as well. So more things. Just let me share my screen. Yeah. So now there are few more things in this Spark Studio which you need to be aware of, right? So there is a patch editor where you need which you need to be aware of, right? So for the patch editor you just need to go to Wave. You can click on show patch editor. So yeah, this is patch editor where you can create some great experiences, right? So in the patch editor you can play along with the patches. You can just change the values if you want to create some interactive effects, like if you want to play some animation, loop animation, right? So for that you need to be aware of those things. So you just have to click on these arrows and the patches will be there for you. You can just play along with these values, add it to some animation or anything else, right, using these patches. So that's the main thing uh, for which patch editor is useful. So we are not going to work with patch editor for now because it will be too complex and you will just get some, you will get overwhelmed by all those things. So slowly we'll move towards the difficult part. And yeah, that was all. You can just change the simulator device as well. Just a moment. Just give me a minute. No, friends, I'm not at railway station. I am at cafe. Just let me share my screen again. Cool. So as I said, for the simulations as well, you can just play around with different devices. So for that, I will just change it to capture. Yeah. So here you can change your device sizes according to this iOS devices. Then there are various devices available. Uh, you can check it with iPad as well. How it how your AR experience will look on iPad, how it will look on iPhone. You can play around with the Android devices as well. How will it look on Google Pixel? There are many devices available, and if you don't want you want to check it for some custom size, you can just click here, change it to resizable window. Perfect. So in the resizable window you can just uh, change it according to the video of the screen size that you want. Now you can see I have uh, increased this size. Yeah. So you can change it to any size that you want. so that you can take a look how it will look on particular screen size. So that's the main reason why these capabilities or these features have been provided. So you can also undock it. So if you have a big scene here and you want to just play around with all those things, then you can just take a look. If you have zoomed in a little bit, then you can just undock the simulator and place it anywhere, right? So second thing is, if you might have used some AR experiences where you need to interact with the effect. So by interaction, I mean some effects have an capability that you can just tap. You would have to touch for something to happen, right? So for an instance, let's say if you tap on the screen or if you touch the screen, the rain will come. If you touch on the screen, some sound will come or some other similar kind of things, right? So for those simulate touch, if you can just click on the touch and you can simulate your effect while you are on the Spark Studio itself. So that's the main thing. Simulate orbit, for while simulating orbit, the same thing is happening. The one more thing I forgot to tell you is when you click on plane, you can just as we saw, you can just let me pause this video. Yeah. So as I said, you can change its direction using these arrows, right? But you can rotate it as well instead of going it from here. This second button is for rotation. So you can just rotate using these circles and place it in any direction, in any possible direction. The third one is scaling. So for scaling, you just need to click on these planes. Just a minute, let me play it and uh, yeah. So if I want to scale it, I will just click on this blue thing and drag it, right? So in the right side in the properties panel, you can see the scale uh, values, the X and Y axis values are increasing. Yeah. So that's because I'm scaling it from the viewport itself. So I will just set it back to the original ones. And these you just need to it's like a trial and error method. Moreover, you just need to play with these values till you get your desired effect, right? So yeah, that's all. Did you get all these things right now, what I told, how you can change the scaling, rotation and position as well from the viewport itself?
Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Please post your questions in the chat box quickly. I don't see any questions coming in, Rugnank. So I think we can wind up. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Itai. Thank you.